Hi. What if the life you're praying for is waiting on the responsibility you keep avoiding? What if the breakthrough you want is not being delayed by people, by the economy, by your past, or even by your circumstances? And what if the next level of your life is waiting for you to stop blaming others and start building? Because here's the truth. Some things may not be your fault. You didn't choose the family you were born into. You didn't choose the country you were born into. You didn't choose your race. You didn't choose your wound. You didn't choose your disappointment. You didn't choose every betrayal. You didn't choose every setback. But guess what? Your healing is still your responsibility. Your growth is still your responsibility. Even your future is still your responsibility. And today, we're talking about one of the most uncomfortable but life-changing principles: accountability. Because no one is coming to save you, my friend. The cavalry is not coming. And if your life is going to change, it has to begin with this decision. Hey, welcome to episode 26 of the Laurince Podcast. My name is Jonathan. I am the author of the business book, The One Shoe Wonder, and the proud founder of the wonderful shoe brand, Immunity Footwear. Listen, accountability is not punishment. Accountability is power. It is the moment you stop giving control of your life to what happened to you, what hurt you, who left you, who doubted you, who overlooked you, and what you lacked. Accountability says, yes, this happened. Yes, it hurt. Yes, it was unfair. Yes, I may have started behind. But then accountability also asks, what am I going to do with what remains? You see, that question right there changes everything, because many people are waiting for an apology before healing. They are waiting for perfect conditions before they start. They are waiting for someone to believe in them before they heal. They are waiting for rescue. But let me say this with love and truth. No one is coming to save you, my friend. That does not mean people won't help you. That does not mean that God won't send support. That does not mean community doesn't matter either. It simply means that you cannot outsource responsibility for your life. It is your responsibility, not somebody else's. You cannot keep saying, they didn't help me, and use that as permission to stay stuck. You cannot keep saying, I didn't come from money, and use that as an excuse to never learn money. You cannot keep saying, I was hurt, and use that as a reason to hurt everybody else. Lastly, you cannot keep saying, I have gifts, but never take the time to use them, nor discipline them. True accountability is when you finally say, I am not responsible for where I started, but I am responsible for where I go. That's why today, if we really want to grow, we must take the time and look at accountability in 4 major areas in our lives: relationships, business, personal growth, and spiritual life. Because if you can own your role in these 4 areas of life, your life can change.
Are you ready to step into a world of opportunity and success? Jonathan Laurince, founder of Immunity Footwear, presents The One Shoe Wonder, an unapologetically bold and actionable roadmap on how to start and build a successful shoe brand. Whether you're dreaming of launching your own footwear line or pivoting your business, or a passionate fashion enthusiast eager to turn your creativity into profit, this book serves as your ultimate step-by-step business guide for fashion startups. Jonathan's strategies and advice will help you navigate the competitive footwear industry with confidence and poise. Inside this transformative guide, you will discover The essential steps to identify and capitalize on market trends. Learn how to develop a unique brand identity that stands out. Explore proven marketing tactics that turn shoes into must-have accessories. Gain insights into manufacturing, distribution, and scaling your business to new weight. Overcoming adversity in business stories and inspirational tales from industry leaders that will motivate you to overcome your own challenges. Jonathan Laurince, drawing on his expansive knowledge and experience, has crafted a practical guide, empowers you to make informed decisions and embrace challenges. Each chapter is packed with actionable steps and invaluable resources, providing tools to build a lasting foundation for your shoe empire. If you seek entrepreneurship books filled with real success strategies, motivational memoirs and success story books, or true stories of self-made businessman success, then The One Shoe Wonder is a must-read. As you dive into these pages, you will find not just theory, but startup success stories in fashion that ignite your passion and fuel your ambition. Don't wait for opportunities, create them. Grab your copy of The One Shoe Wonder today and step confidently onto the path to success. Available now.
First of all, let's get this out of the way. Stop blaming. Start owning your role. Let's begin with relationships, because this is where accountability gets to be very personal. You know, it's easy to talk about accountability in business. It's easy to talk about success. It's easy to talk about discipline. But relationships, they reveal who we are. Marriage reveals us. Friendship reveals us. Family reveals us. And even leadership reveals us as well. And one of the most dangerous things we can do in relationships is building our entire story around what the other person did to us, while we refuse to examine what we contributed, tolerated, ignored, repeated, and refused to heal. Now, listen to me clearly. Don't get me wrong. Taking responsibility does not mean that you take blame for somebody else's abuse, betrayals, manipulation, or wrongdoing. Wrong is wrong. Wrong is still wrong no matter how you look at it. If someone hurts you, that matters, okay? But accountability asks a deeper question. What is my responsibility now? Maybe it wasn't your fault that someone betrayed you, but healing is your responsibility. Maybe it wasn't your fault that someone decided to abandon you, but learning how not to abandon yourself is your responsibility. And maybe it wasn't your fault that you grew up in dysfunction, but breaking that cycle is your responsibility. And that's exactly where maturity begins. Because if we're not careful, we can spend years and years rehearsing what happened to us and never take the time to rebuild what remains in us. And then we say, they made me this way. They changed me. They broke me. They ruined my trust. There may be some truth to that. But now true accountability says, I was hurt, but I will not become harmful to others. I was disappointed, but I will not live bitter. I was rejected, but I will not reject myself. I was wounded, but I will not make my wound my personality. In relationships, accountability looks like asking yourself these questions. Where have I been defensive instead of honest? Where have I been reacting from pain instead of responding from wisdom? Where have I been demanding love but refusing vulnerability? Where have I been blaming people for patterns I refuse to confront? Where have I been choosing familiar dysfunction over necessary healing? Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it's easy. I know it's not easy, but it's freeing. It's freedom. Because the moment you own your role, you get your power back. Listen to this. Please listen to this. Blame keeps you attached to the person or situation that hurt you. Look, ownership is here to detach you. And sometimes the most powerful things you can say is not, they need to change. Sometimes it's simple. You simply need to say, Lord, change what is unhealthy in me. Not because they were right, but because you need to be free. Here's a rational truth that I need you to consider. You cannot control how people treated you, but you can control what you allow to shape you. So stop blaming. Start healing. Start owning your role. Start having the hard conversations. Start apologizing where you need to apologize. Start setting boundaries where you need boundaries. Start walking away where peace requires distance. And start becoming the kind of person you keep praying to meet. Because accountability in relationships, it's not about carrying blames, but it's about choosing maturity and peace. Hi, at Immunity Footwear, we don't believe in waiting weeks for excellence. Due to our 48 hours production special, we handcrafted it in 2 days so the shoe can be delivered to you within the next 7 business days. I'm proud to present to you my signature double monk shoes. Shaped on the Zuriga last for the timeless English elegance and finished with a leather rubber sole that you can feel in every step. I'm telling you, this is more than a shoe. It's present, style, confidence, and comfortability built with you in mind. Order yours now at Immunity Footwear. The link is in the description. You'll be glad you did. Now let's talk about business, shall we? This one is going to hit entrepreneurs, leaders, and creators, or anyone who's trying to build something. Results reflect your decisions. In business, accountability is brutal because results talk. Listen, revenue talks, customer feedback talks, consistency talks, your calendar talks, your bank account talks, your execution talks. And sometimes we don't like what they're saying. We want to blame the market. We want to blame the algorithm. We want to blame the customers. We want to blame the economy. We want to blame the lack of support. And yes, the market matters. The economy matters. Target matters. Resources matter. But at some point, every entrepreneur has to ask, what decision did I make that produced this result? Because business rewards responsibility, not intentions, not potential, not excuses. You can have a great idea and still fail because you did not execute. You can have a powerful vision and still struggle because you did not build systems. You can have a good product and still lose just because you did not communicate clearly. You can have great talent and still broke because you did not learn sales, marketing, leadership, numbers, and follow through. And that's accountability right there. And I want to say this with love. Listen, you are not born into wealth, but wealth can come from you. Would you agree? Maybe your parent did not leave you a business, but you can build one. Maybe you did not inherit financial education. Learn it, my friend. Maybe nobody taught you branding, marketing, investing, sales, or leadership. Start now. Because I didn't know may explain yesterday, but it cannot excuse tomorrow forever. One of the most empowering things you can accept is this. If my decisions help create where I am, then better decisions can help create where I'm going. That simply means you are not powerless. If your business is struggling, don't just ask, why aren't people buying? Ask rather, is my offer clear? Is my product actually solve a real problem? Am I visible enough? Am I following up? Am I consistent? Do I understand my customers? Am I pricing correctly? Am I managing cash flow? Am I building a brand or just posting randomly? And last but not least, am I treating this like a business or just a hobby? Someone needs to face the reality, look yourself in the mirror, and ask these questions. Because that's where growth begins. Accountability in business is not beating yourself up, but it's auditing your reality. It is saying what is working, what is not working, what must change, what must I learn, what must I stop doing, what must I start doing starting now. Because the cavalry is not coming. No one is coming with a perfect plan to rescue your dream, my friend. No investor is obligated to believe in you. No customer is obligated to buy from you. No audience is obligated to follow you either. You must create value. You must communicate clearly. You must serve well. You must adapt. You must lead. And here is the hopeful part. In business, accountability can solve your problem faster than excuses could ever will. One better offer can change your revenue. One consistent marketing system can change your visibility. One improved customer experience can change your retention. One disciplined financial decision can change your cash flow. One decision to stop hiding can change your entire brand. So starting now, take responsibility. Not because everything is your fault, but because your next move, it's your responsibility.
If your income stopped tomorrow, how many months could you survive without borrowing, without panic, without help? Be honest. High income does not automatically equal financial freedom. Most professionals never calculate their dependency level, and that's the problem. They don't know how much of their income is already committed. They don't know their real freedom margin. And without structure, income turns into obligation. Financial Freedom Score shows you exactly where you stand. In less than 3 minutes, you'll immediately see your freedom score, your dependency level, and your projected financial future. Then you'll receive a structured 12-month reset plan designed to increase your financial control. No spreadsheets, no financial jargon, just clarity. Know your number. Reclaim your freedom. Start your free salary snapshot today.
Discipline over excuses. Now, let's talk about personal development. This is where many people want transformation without training. They want confidence, but they don't keep promises to themselves. They want success, but they don't want the process. They don't want structure. They want growth, but they keep choosing comfort. They want a new life, but they keep repeating old bad habits. And this is where accountability becomes personal. Because nobody can do your push-ups for you. Nobody can read your books for you. Nobody can build your discipline for you. Nobody can manage your time for you. Nobody can develop your character for you. No one is coming to save you from the version of yourself that refuses to grow. That may sound hard, but it's also liberating. Because it means that you can begin today, not next year. Not when everything is perfect. Not when you feel motivated. Start now. There's an old proverb that says, the best time to plant a tree was 25 years ago, and the next best time is now. Well, dare I say, the best next time is yesterday. And that, my friend, it's accountability. Yes, maybe you should have started since yesterday. You did not. But start now. Yes, maybe you wasted time before. Start now. Yes, maybe you made mistakes. Start now. Yes, maybe you're behind. Start now. Because regret without action becomes just another excuse. And many people are not stuck because they lack potential. They are stuck because they keep negotiating with discipline. You cannot do that, my friend. It's either you do it or you don't. And that's discipline. You know what they keep saying? I'll start Monday. I'll start when I feel ready. I'll get serious next month. I'll wait until I have more time. But they forgot one thing. Discipline does not grow from waiting. Discipline grows from repeated decisions, small ones, daily ones, and boring ones. Starting from the decision to wake up, the decision to practice, the decision to save, the decision to learn, the decision to apologize, the decision to forgive, the decision to build, the decision to finish. Personal development is not glamorous, but it's often quiet. It happens when nobody's clapping. It happens when you choose your future over your feelings. It happens when you do what your purpose requires, not what your mood prefers. Well, let me say this with love. Motivation is just a spark, but discipline is the firewood. If you only move when you feel inspired, your life will be inconsistent, my friend. But when you build discipline, you become dependable. And dependable people create dependable results. So stop waiting to feel like the person you want to become. Start behaving like that person now. Ask yourself, what would the disciplined version of me do today? What would the healed version of me do today? What would the successful version of me stop tolerating today? What would the future version of me think before today? That's how you grow. Not by making one huge decision, but by making small, aligned decisions every day. Accountability in personal development is saying this: my habits are my responsibility. My healing is my responsibility alone. My growth is my responsibility. My discipline is my responsibility, not anybody else's. And once you accept that, my friend, everything begins to shift.
Hi, have you ever walked through an ending that you did not plan? A divorce, a separation, or a season that broke your heart? I want you to hear this clearly. When the marriage ends, the purpose doesn't. Over the past couple of years, God has taught me powerful lessons about faith, identity, rebuilding, and starting again with clarity and intention. And I'm putting all of that into an upcoming book entitled When the Marriage Ends, But the Purpose Doesn't. Over the course of 12 chapters, this book shows readers that endings are not failures. They are opportunities for personal transformation, spiritual alignments, and a life by design through real-life lessons. This book is for men and women who are ready to grow, heal, and step boldly into their next chapter, personally, spiritually, and professionally. If you want to be the first to know when this book drops on Amazon and other platforms, I want you to join my email list. Click the link, sign up, and walk this next chapter with me. And remember that your story isn't over, and your purpose is still alive.
Stewardship is what God expects of us. Now, let's bring this into our spiritual lives, because accountability is deeply biblical. Would you agree? Listen to this. From Genesis to Revelation, God has been giving people responsibility. It gives Adam a garden to cultivate. It gives Moses an assignment. It gives David a calling. It gives Esther a moment. It gives the servants talents in Matthew 25. And over again, we see this truth being repeated, right? God gives gifts, but he also expects stewardship from us. Your life isn't something just to enjoy. It is something to manage. Your gift is not something to just admire. It is something to develop. Your calling is not something to just talk about. It is something to obey. Your influence is not just something you desire. It is something to steward. They want increase without discipline. They want open doors without preparation. They want platform without character. They want the harvest without planting anything. Many people want God to bless something that they refuse to manage. But spiritual accountability says this: Lord, what have you placed in my hands? What am I doing with it? That question is holy, because you don't own your gifts, you manage them. You don't own your time, you steward it. You don't own your influence, you are trusted with it. And if God trusted you with a gift, your responsibility is to grow it, purify it, discipline it, and use it for His glory. And this is why the parable of the talents is so powerful. The issue is not that each servant received the same amount of gifts. They didn't. One received 5, one received 2, one received only 1. But each one was held accountable according to what they had been given. The servant who buried his talent did not lose because he had less. He lost just because he did nothing with it. He let fear make him inactive. Let me remind you what fear stands for. Fear, the word fear, F-E-A-R, stands for false evidence appearing real. So therefore, he let fear stop him. A false signal, a false appearance made him stop being productive. And many people today are doing the same thing. They bury their gift in fear. They bury it in comparison. They bury it in insecurity. They bury it in procrastination. They bury it in I'm not ready. They bury it in what will people think. Let me say this before moving on this. One of the killer of your dream, thinking about what others would think about you. That makes you become a people pleaser because you want to please people instead of pleasing God. You end up not doing what you've been called to do or walk according to your purpose due to what people might think of you. It is the fear of men versus the fear of the Lord. So let's stop doing this. Do what you're supposed to do, what you are called to do. All right? But accountability says something different. If God gave it to me, I must do something with it. Can that be our mindset? Just imagine if this is your mindset, how far you would be in life. If God can give it to me, I shall do something with it. That does not mean that you need to move arrogantly. It simply means that you need to move obediently. It means you stop confusing humility with hiding. It means you stop calling fear wisdom. It means you stop praying for purpose while refusing responsibility. Because sometimes the answer to your prayers, it's already in your hands. And here you are refusing to take responsibility, but asking God for more. It doesn't work like that. But God is asking, what did you do with what I already gave you? That's spiritual accountability right there. And this is also applies to your character. If you want God to use you publicly, let Him form you privately. If you want influence, ask for integrity. If you want platform, ask for purity. If you want impact, ask for humility. Because your gifts may open doors, but your character will determine if you can remain there. So stewardship is everything. Your gift, your mind, your voice, your body, your finances, your relationship, your time, your calling. God is not asking you to be perfect right away, but He's asking you to be faithful. Hi, Jonathan here with Immunity Footwear. And today, I want to introduce to you one of the most elegant pieces in our collection, the burgundy patina loafer. From the moment you slip it on, we can feel the craftsmanship. Each pair is hand finished in a rich burgundy patina, giving you depth, character, and a look that speaks before you do. The design is sleek, timeless, and built for the gentleman who values both sophistication and comfort. And with our 48 hours production rush, your loafers are crafted and shipped in as little as 7 business days. No shortcut, no compromise. Whether you're dressing up for a big moment or elevating your everyday style, This loafer completes the look with ease, confidence, and undeniable elegance. If you're ready to experience footwear that delivers luxury from the ground up, tap the link below and order your burgundy patina loafer today. Let me leave you with this. No one is coming to save you, my friend. And I know that sounds heavy, but it may be one of the most freeing truths that you'll ever accept. Because the moment you stop waiting for rescue, you begin to rise. The moment you stop waiting for perfect conditions, you begin to build. The moment you stop waiting for someone to believe in you, you begin to believe with your actions. Listen, the cavalry is not coming. And maybe it's not a bad news. Maybe it means that God has already placed enough in you to begin. Maybe it means that you are stronger than you thought. Maybe it means that the next chapter of your life is not waiting on permission. It is waiting on responsibility. Your responsibility. You may not be responsible for every wound, but you are responsible for your healing. You may not be responsible for where you started, but you are responsible for where you go next. You may not be born into wealth, but wealth can come from you. You may not have had the perfect support system, but you can become the support system for the next generation. You may not have started 25 years ago, but you can start now. So start now. Start with what you have. Start with the gift in your hands. Start with the apology. Start with the plan. Start with the discipline. Start with the prayer. Start with the first dollar saved. Start with the first page written. Start with the first workout. Start with the first conversation. Start with the first step. Because your life starts changing when you stop asking, what's going to help me? And start asking, what am I responsible for today? That is where power returns. That is where healing begins. And that is where legacy is built. Accountability is not shame. Accountability is freedom. Because when you take responsibility, you take your life back. So listen to this. It may not be your fault. I understand. But it's your responsibility. And your next move matters. Hey family, quick break. Listen, if this episode is adding value to your life, I need you to pause, take a quick second, and hit the subscribe button, will you? And that's how you can support us, help us grow, and keep this life-changing content coming your way. Every click, every share, every comment helps us reach more people who need this message. So go ahead and subscribe now to Jonathan Laurince, and let's keep walking the self-improvement and wealth-building journey together. Because here, we're not just chasing success, we're building purpose with profit. So I thank you in advance. Let's go back to the show. All right, guys, we have reached the end of the episode of today. Listen, if this episode spoke to you, I want you to not just listen to these principles. I want you to apply them in your life. And if this message challenged you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Like this episode and subscribe to the Laurince Podcast. And hit the bell notification so you can be notified when we dropping the next episode. Because here on the Laurince Podcast, we talk about growth, business, entrepreneurship, faith, mindfulness, personal growth, and building a life with impact, with clarity and responsibility. And if you're ready to go deeper, I want you to grab my book, The One Shoe Wonder. And in that book, I share my journey, my mindset, and my step-by-step process of taking action and building a brand which is immunity footwear and walking on purpose. Other value proposition, I am so excited to announce to you that I just started a new channel called The Builder's Conversation. The Builder's Conversation is an extension of the Laurince Podcast, where I take the time to interview leaders, thought leaders, entrepreneurs, pastors, musicians, worship leaders, and also businessmen, people who are doing something impactful in our community. We need to hear from these people and learn from them. Now, I want you to subscribe to my channel so you can be the first to know when we will drop the first episode. And if you believe in walking boldly on purpose with confidence, visit my shoe brand, Immunity Footwear. It is immunityfootwear.com. So you can upgrade your style, walk with confidence and style, all right? And remember this, build with intention, walk with confidence, and win anyway. This has been episode 26 of the Laurince Podcast. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.